Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. It's time for another video. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I think we should talk about the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. In fact, I definitely think we should talk about the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. You know what? This is the biggest convention yet. There were more people. There were more people in that building than ever before. I'm pretty sure they broke records in terms of the amount of people there. And there were a lot of new people that had never been to Blackpool before. There were a lot of people that were coming back to Blackpool for the first time since pre-COVID. Maybe they felt like, this is the year that they felt comfortable going back, which is good. And there was a hell of a lot going on. And this video is just about my thoughts about the Blackpool Magic Convention. What went well, what went wrong, what was good, what wasn't so good. And I think that we get into this right now. So let's talk about the good. So first of all, the amount of lectures that were there was simply incredible. Now, I didn't get a chance to see many of the lectures because obviously I was busy in the dealer hall. I was running around like crazy. But the lectures that I did see and the ones that people told me about, my God, with some of those lectures, I got FOMO. I really did. I thought that they were just brilliant. I think they got some world-class people in who delivered brilliantly. I really do. And also, it was great to see that the Blackpool Magic Convention listened. And what I mean by that is one thing that people moaned about on the lead up to Blackpool was that you can't see everything. And it's just impossible. In order to have the amount of lecturers that Blackpool have, you can't see everybody. So you kind of have to pick and choose. But one thing that somebody said in the Facebook group was, then why are you putting Silly Billy lecture on at the same time as the Family Entertainer of the Year? Everybody's going to want to watch the Family Entertainer of the Year. They're also going to watch Silly Billy. And so they changed it. They changed Silly Billy's lecture to later on in the day. Shows that the Blackpool Magic Convention listen, which is great. Now, I've heard some negativity from a few people about the length of time it takes to queue up to go into these lectures. And I get that. I 100% get that. The problem is there's no way to do it. You can't have every single person at Blackpool going into every single lecture. You just can't. It's impossible. There's no building in the world that will be able to hold 5,000 people. Even the gala shows have to be split into two parts, right? So I think the only solution that they can do moving forward is by having queues. And nobody likes to queue. Nobody likes to queue. I get that. But if there's something you want to see bad enough, you're going to have to queue for it. At the end of the day, if you have to queue half an hour in order to see the event that you want to see, well, it's either that or take the risk that you're not going to be allowed in because the room is full. There's no other option to it, really. You pick the lectures you want to see and you make sure you're queuing ahead of time. Early enough to go and get into those lectures. It's a little bit like a theme park. It's a little bit like Alton Towers. Nobody likes queuing up for the big rides. But if you want to see the most popular rides, if you want to see the biggest rides, you're going to have to queue up in order to see them because that's just what you have to do. Everybody wants to go on those particular rides. So because everybody wants to go on those rides, you have to be prepared to queue. And if you don't want to queue, you don't have to. But then you're only going to be going on the smaller rides that are less popular. Well, it's the same thing with Blackpool. If you want to see the big lectures, if you want to see, the Q&A with Matt King, if you want to see John Bannon or whoever it is, you're going to have to queue up to see them because if you don't, you're probably going to miss out. And it's a shame, but Blackpool's open for 3 days. You're not going to go to every single, lecture. So you pick and choose the ones that you want to go to. But I thought that they did a great job with the lectures. I also think they did a great job with the gala shows. So a lot of people asked me about the Friday night gala show. And, I talked earlier on about how I think that the gala shows are absolutely amazing at the Blackpool Magic Convention. They are. All of the shows were brilliant. A total highlight for me. A lot of people asked me how I got involved in the gala show and what led to having my head being chopped off and how come it wasn't chopped off in the first show. So a couple of months ago, I got approached by some of the organisers from Blackpool Magic Convention, namely Russ Stevens and Russ Brown. And they said, hey, we've got Mickey Dark doing the convention and he's going to do the head chopper that he did on Bruno and Britain's Got Talent. I'm like, oh, brilliant, that's great. Yeah, he needs to chop someone's head off. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. We want him to chop someone's head off who everybody loves to hate. I can see where this is going. Okay, so you want me to do it? Yeah, I want you to do it. I want you to just get in the head chopper. I was like, okay, look, guys, you need me to do that. That's absolutely fine. If it makes the show better, that's great. You know, it can't be as worse as 2 years ago when Killian sat there throwing water over my head in front of everybody. What could possibly go wrong? You know, I come out from the wings, I have my head chopped off, job done. And then nothing else was talked about it. I didn't realise that there's actually a lot more to this head chopper than just stick your head in and hope for the best. So I went in for rehearsals on the Thursday. I was rehearsing Thursday, I was rehearsing Friday. I've got a big neck, and Mickey Dark's head chopper is very small hole, big head. My neck was bruised really badly after the amount of times I rehearsed it, like really badly bruised. But it's what you do, right? So we rehearsed it, and then it was said to me, hey, we're going to do it with a bit where you're coming out the audience. You know, Mickey sees you trying to take your seat, and he grabs you out the audience. I'm like, okay. And then he's going to pour a pint of beer over you. He's going to do what now? Oh, yeah, you're going to be holding a beer, and he's going to pour a pint of beer over you. Okay, right, yep. So change of clothes, because I'm assuming we're going to be doing this twice because there's 2 gala shows. Yeah, we can do this twice. Okay, right, okay, so pint of beer. That's fine. And and then he's going to take your glasses off and he's going to break them into bits and throw them in the audience. He's going to do what now? Oh, don't worry about it, because we're going to get you some Poundland glasses. So you can wear the Poundland glasses and he'll break those. I'm like, brilliant, other than the fact that I'm basically as good as Legally Blind with these on, let alone without them on. You stick a pair of Poundland glasses on me, I'm not going to see bugger all, nothing. I'm going to be like, oh. And Mickey was like, no problem, because I'll guide you. I won't be mic'd up, so I'll guide you and I'll say rope, step, wire. I'm like, great, nothing could possibly go wrong. What could possibly go wrong? Other than the fact that my neck almost got genuinely cut off while I was rehearsing it because my neck is so big. And we almost wrecked a shirt. I had to take my shirt off going into this because my shirt kept getting caught, but whatever. I rehearsed it a whole bunch of times. Everything's fine. So we're going for the first show, and it's like, right, okay, we're going to start, so you're going to need to get a pint. Oh, I've got to buy my own pint that you're going to pour over my head. Yeah, okay. I'll just go to the bar and buy a pint, shall I then? Right, okay, so I've got my pint that I've bought. I don't drink any because it's going over. Yes, of course, right. So then the show's starting. Fantastic show. That pop vanish on that dance was incredible. Such a well-produced show. And then I get dragged out the audience, don't I? Of course I do get dragged out the audience. There's the pint, everyone cheers, as they would, you know, it's Craig Petty getting soaked with beer. Oh, his glasses are getting smashed up, that's hilarious, yay! Get put into the guillotine, and it didn't work. Well, I mean, how I was told that this guillotine works, and I've done a lot of illusions, but I've never used this particular guillotine, is I've got to wait for the thud, right? And when I hear the thud, I'm dropping my head, I'm going into this kind of trap thing. I'm like, okay, right, okay, drop the head of the trap, okay, fine. I didn't hear a thud. And it's kind of an awkward situation because I can't see much because I'm looking down, I can't look up. And even if I could look up, I can't see the audience because of the bright lights. So here I am in front of a few thousand magicians. I'm not hearing a thud. I'm like, did I miss the thud? Should I put my head down? Should I have dropped? Have I fucked this whole thing up? And they were like, oh, there's no thud. I'm just going to not drop my head just in case. And then the next thing I know is I'm being wheeled off. So from the audience's point of view in the first show, I don't know why it didn't work. I'm not 100% sure why it didn't work. I put my head where it was meant to be. That's all I know. But from the audience's point of view, I got dragged on stage, I got put in a guillotine, and then I got wheeled off. John Kimmons, luckily, who's one of the funniest comedy magicians of all time, the compere in the show, made a lot of jokes about it. Like, I still think Craig's back there right now, stuck in that guillotine. I was like, oh, such a shame. Yeah, and they were like, yeah, don't worry, we're going to fix it for the next show. I was like, brilliant, I'm going to go and see my wife. And I came back from seeing Ryland and Thea and Sarah and chatting to a couple of people. I went backstage through the stage door and very, very excitedly got told, oh, we fixed it. We know what's happened. It's going to be fine for the next show. Brilliant, guys. That's amazing. I can't wait to get a pint poured over my head again. So it's going to work. How did we fix it? We took the safeties off. We did what now? We took the safeties off. I don't know this illusion, but just the term safety suggests to me this is something that should not be removed from the prop. And then everyone was like, oh, we don't need the safeties, it's fine. And I was like, talking as the person who has his head in a 15-foot guillotine, I would quite like the safeties to stay where they are, because its name implies that they're going to be safer for me, right? And then Jezzo, who was backstage crewing and it's his prop, he's like, nah, the safeties don't make it as safe. I'm like, Jezzo, why are they called safeties then? What? Why are they called? Oh, we put the extra safeties in for Britain's Got Talent, but you don't need them. Oh, so they were put in place because Britain's Got Talent wanted them, because they were concerned about people's safety with Brunei, I imagine. So you had extra safeties in place. But with me, we don't need those safeties. The safeties aren't important. Is that what we're saying? Yeah. Anyway, we can do it with the safeties still intact? No. So we're going to remove the safeties, yeah. So this 15-foot guillotine with this very real blade is going to fall down onto my head, and there's no safeties. Yeah. All right, cool, brilliant stuff. And I'll tell you right now, I wasn't nervous at all. I've been doing illusions for many, many years. I've put girls in boxes. I've been in boxes myself. I was a bit thinner at the time, but I've been in boxes, many, many boxes. And I've never been nervous about going in a box. I know it's all very, very safe. For the first time ever, doing that second show, when Mickey dragged me up and threw my head in there, I was actually quite nervous, even though I rehearsed it many, many times. The fact that it didn't work the first time, and then the next time, there's no safeties. I was actually going, I'm going to die. I'm going to die on stage in front of thousands of magicians, something I've actively tried to not do my entire career. I'm going to die on stage. This is brilliant. This is great. I'm going to die. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. But luckily, the blade dropped. I did what I was meant to do. Everybody in the second show told me it looked fantastic. The audience all cheered when I had my pint. Oh, I bought myself a second pint. Of course I did. So when the pint got poured over me and my glasses got broken, more importantly, when my head got chopped off, everybody was very happy about it. Thanks everybody that was in the second show. Fuck you all. You know, I mean, the reason I tell you that, and everything went fine, it was all well and good, but the reason I'm telling you this story is just kind of to illustrate to everybody watching this just how much effort goes into producing a gala show. Think about it. The Mickey Dark segment was probably a 3-4 minute moment at the beginning of one of the gala shows. When you think about everything that's taking place over the whole weekend, that's one small part, tiny infinitesimal part. And my role in that was even smaller, because Mickey carried on after I left. My role in that was even smaller. And yet I was in Thursday for a couple of hours. I was in Friday for a couple of hours. I was like, it shows you the amount of effort and time that goes into producing these gala shows and making sure that everything runs smoothly. You know, I had the same experience a couple of years ago when Killian poured a pint of water over me. One small moment in the show. And yet so much effort went in to make sure it was absolutely perfect. And that's why I don't think there's anybody in the world that could produce a convention, and a gala show especially, to the level of the Blackpool Magic Convention. It's just phenomenal. Unless you've actually been backstage at a gala show, you don't know how much time and effort goes into producing those gala shows. And don't forget, they've got basically 3 days to tech everything, and the Family Entertainer of the Year, and all the other shows as well. Like, it's astronomical what the team backstage have to do to put those ahead. And are they going to miss a lighting cue occasionally or something? Very possibly. But, like, it's unbelievable the amount of effort that goes into those shows backstage. And anybody that's moaned about the gala shows, frankly, I don't understand what you're talking about. I saw a few people on Facebook moaning about, oh, the gala shows are the worst they've ever been this year. Look, you're entitled to your opinion, but I think you're watching different gala shows to me, because I went to all 3 gala shows. I went to the one on the Friday, I went to the Matt King show on the Saturday, I went to the one on the Sunday, and I have never been more impressed. I thought that the level of talent was brilliant. I thought that every act brought something. Obviously, there were some mistakes. You know, I was meant to have my head chopped off in both shows on the Friday in the Guillotine by Mickey Dark, and I ended up only having my head chopped off once. These things happen. You're dealing with live entertainment. You're dealing with things go wrong all the time. Anybody who's watching this that's a magician knows that tricks go wrong, things go wrong. And what you have to do is you have to deal with those problems, deal with those issues, and just move forward as best as you can. And that's what Blackpool did. That's what Blackpool did. But the gala shows were next level. Matt King was unbelievably funny. You know, I've seen Matt King before, but I in Vegas, but I could watch him again and again and again and not get bored. And it's the first time that Matt King has been bought out. Just Matt King's show alone is worth the price of the ticket. I know that there were people moaning, oh, it's 250 quid. What am I getting for my money? Are you kidding? There's no way you could see shows like this for the price that we pay for our tickets. And that doesn't even take into consideration the lectures, the dealer hall, the other things that you're getting. It's just simply amazing. It really is. Yeah, I loved the gala show, all of them. I really did. I love the fact that there were so many different shows. There were so many you couldn't go to all of them, and I didn't go to all of them, but the ones I went to were amazing. I heard big things about Tom Wright. A lot of people were saying Tom Wright was the hit of the convention, or one of the big hits of the convention. I'm not surprised. Tom is an amazing magician. He really is. I also love the fact that the bear pit was so better structured this year. Last year when Ryland and Nemeth did the bear pit, it was chaotic beyond belief. Nobody knew where they were going. Nobody knew where they were doing. Tables were missed out. This year, it was a lot more organised, that you didn't have to perform 6 times. They made it a lot more organised. They had it in its own separate place. I think that was so much better. I also love the fact that the and the acts in the bear pit were brilliant. Obviously, Matt did an incredible job. I'm very, very proud of him. But all the acts did. You know, I managed to get a glimpse of seeing Samuel Hurst. He was doing a great job. Steve Faulkner was doing a great job. I think Gwilliam was one of the standout performers of the bear pit. I think Gwilliam went to the Blackpool Magic Convention to make a statement, and he did. I think that Gwilliam's act was probably the best bear pit act I have ever seen in my life, and that includes my act, Ryland's act, Matt's act, every act I've ever seen. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I think that he's going to have a big name moving forward, and I think that's because of the bear pit. What else? I love the way that they structured everything this year. I thought that the structure was much better. Bringing people in the other entrance to do the registration, I thought worked brilliantly. Expanding everything out in that direction worked great. I thought bringing more dealer space into the area inside the horseshoe, in the pavilion, I thought that was a really great idea. I think that having those dealers spaced out, so there's so many different areas, I think that really helped with, you know, sometimes there's a bit of claustrophobia. In previous years at Blackpool, it's almost like you can't move walking up and down the main dealer hall. You're like completely crushed in. And I know some people don't like that. I didn't see that happen at all once this year, because there were so many different areas, and there was the balcony, and there was the main dealer hall, and there was the horseshoe, and there's the pavilion. I think it was a lot more spaced out, and even though there were more dealers, it didn't feel like, you know, it was like sardines in a can, which I think is very important. I also thought that some of the tricks this year that the dealers were selling were brilliant. A lot of people were bringing out tricks and products specifically for Blackpool, and those products I thought were great. I didn't see many dealers that didn't really deserve to be there. I thought that all of the dealers stepped up their game and then some. Very, very impressed with a lot of the stuff that I saw. As I say, I was in a bit of a weird situation because I was running around like crazy. I was on the Alakazam stand. I was on the Penguin stand. I was up on Magic TV with Matt. I was running around all over the place, as well as helping Ryland with his act in the Family Entertainer of the Year, as well as supporting Matt in the bear pit and running around. And I spent a lot of time rehearsing for the head drop, you know, because obviously I was in the guillotine for Mickey Dark in the Friday night gala show, and I had to do a lot of rehearsals on that, and God, my neck hurt by the end of it. On that subject, I actually thought the Family Entertainer of the Year was great. I got very emotional seeing Ryland's performance. Anybody that was there that said nice things about Ryland, thank you very much. He didn't win. I know he was gutted about not winning, but both him and I thought that every other act, including the winner, Bill Sharp, were fantastic. I thought Bill's routine with the the phone and the way that it was all interactive and the way that he structured it, I thought it was brilliant. I think it's an amazing routine, an incredible set piece, and a deserved winner. 100% a deserved winner. I was gutted that Ryland didn't win, but he's determined to win at some point in the future, so he's going to keep going. But I did think that the Harry Potter act was very, very special, and a lot of people loved it, which was what he kind of set out to do. Ryland wasn't there to win it; he was there to just show people, that he's a good performer, and I think he managed to achieve that and then some. So what else is there to talk about? The Monday after the Blackpool Magic Convention at the Bear Pit, at the House of Secrets, watching Matt do his mentalism show was amazing. I talked about this yesterday on the episode of the Matchmentary, so go back if you haven't seen his performance in the Bear Pit or at the show. You can do so by going and looking at the Matchmentary. I thought Matt did a great job. I also thought Ryland did a great job. He put new routines into his act that he'd never done before, on top of doing the Harry Potter act, and I thought that they all worked brilliantly. Tricks of the convention, in my opinion, I'm going to do a bigger, longer video of the best tricks of the Blackpool Magic Convention. But I think, and that's probably going to go out on Tuesday instead of a Matt test this week. But, in fact, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm not going to talk to you about the individual tricks at the Blackpool Magic Convention because I want to do a separate video on that. But I have thoughts. I have thoughts on what I think the best trick was and what the best tricks were. And I think that my best trick might not necessarily make the list of everyone's best trick, but it's only my opinion. You can go check that out next week. I think it'll probably go up on the Tuesday. What else is there? I mean, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody that came over at Blackpool and wanted a picture with me, wanted me to sign something, wanted to have a conversation with them. I tried to talk to everybody. I was in a rush a lot of the time. So if I didn't manage to speak to you, I'm very, very sorry. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm very sorry. I did want to speak to everybody, but what I do on this YouTube channel takes a lot of time and effort, and it's very hard work. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I kind of get myself into a situation where I think, is it really worth it? I spend half of my life either filming content, planning content, and it would be so much easier if I didn't do this YouTube channel. It'd be so much easier. I'd have so much more free time. But, the reason I carry on doing it, when sometimes people can be a little mean, the reason I carry on doing it is because of the people that say that the people that say that Magic TV has had an impact on their lives. And I know it sounds ridiculous. How can a YouTube channel about magic have an impact on people's lives? But I had people coming up to me at Blackpool saying, I never had the courage to perform. But after listening to your advice on Magic TV and watching the Matchmentary, I'm now going out and performing. Or I spoke to several people that said they started off watching Magic TV as an amateur, and now they're a semi-pro or a pro, and that's because of the videos I put out and watching all of those videos and taking the advice on board. I had people say that they were very, very nervous and very, very shy, and watching the YouTube channel has really brought them out their shell. I've had people that say that the thing that they love most, more than anything else in magic, is watching me and Ryland on the review show and watching him develop over a week-to-week basis, and watching us and our relationship. Ryland really is my best friend. And, I would do anything for that kid. And listening to people's feedback about how much they enjoy watching me and Ryland on the YouTube channel, for anybody who came over to me, and for anybody who said anything, and for anybody who, spent a couple of minutes chatting to me, I really appreciate it. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, so other things that I really loved. I loved hanging out on the Wednesday night at the Magic Podcast, Black Arts Podcast meetup at the House of Secrets. All those people in there chatting, talking, lots of amazing people sharing magic. And Lloyd even made it up, even though it was Valentine's Day and he said he wasn't going to come. He did come. He made a surprise appearance, and I was so glad that he came, and that meetup was fantastic. We designed that meetup because there's a lot of new people who come to Blackpool that are overwhelmed and kind of a bit like freaked out at the size of it, and the whole idea was to kind of edge you in gently, and a lot of people said that they really appreciated that meetup being organised. So thank you to everyone that came to that. And I just want to give a big shout out to the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024, the organisers who organised it. I think they did a great job. Were there negatives? Yes. What are the negatives? You'll find out on Monday when I put a 5x5 up on the 5 things that I hated most about Blackpool. Obviously, nothing's perfect, and there's things that that I wasn't particularly happy about. But you know what? None of it was about the organisers. None of it was about the Blackpool Magic Convention. None of it. And I'll talk more about that on Monday. It was about really people's attitudes, and we'll get to that. But this video is kind of a celebration. It's amazing that the world's largest magic convention takes place in this little seaside town in Blackpool. It's so amazing to me that the world's largest magic convention is there. You'd expect it to be in London, or you'd expect it to be somewhere else, somewhere in the world. But no, it takes place in Blackpool. And that's crazy. And the team at the Blackpool Magic Club, Guy Barrett, Russ Brown, Russ Stevens, and all of the team that support them, that put this on, I know they work hard all year round in order to put together the best convention that they can. And they work tirelessly and selflessly to do that. And I think that sometimes when we moan, we forget how hard these people work, and how hard they work to put this, and how much the level of organisation should be in order to get to this point. And I think they've done an amazing job, an absolutely amazing job. It's a job that I wouldn't want to do, not in a million years. So thank you to all the Blackpool Magic Club that have put this together, and I can't wait to see Blackpool 2025. And one last thing I didn't get a chance to see it. I'm so gutted I didn't get a chance to see it. But one thing that a lot of people said to me is the lineup of the late night entertainment at Blackpool was the best it's ever been. A lot of people were raving about Harrison Greenbaum and his roasts that he did. A lot of people were raving about the Battle Cabaret that Sam put together. A lot of people were raving about Paul Zennon's thing that he put together, the Not the Gala show, all of the extracurricular activities that they organised late night for 18 plus. I think that they hit that at the park as well. And my God, the amount of people that have told me some of the stuff that was said in Harrison Greenbaum's roasts, I wish I was there. I would have loved to have been there. I think I missed something very, very special. But that's the problem with Blackpool, isn't it? You can't see everything. And as much as we try, it's almost impossible to see everything. So, I saw what I saw. I had an amazing time. I hope you had an amazing time as well. Thank you for coming over and chatting to me. And thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the description down below what you thought about the Blackpool Magic Convention 2024. Did you go? If you did, what was your favourite part? What was your least favourite part? If you didn't go, have you got massive FOMO? Are you going to go next year? I want to know. And why didn't you go? What was the reason? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again very, very soon with another video. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.